Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. The United States has announced increased vetting of applicants for H-1B visas for highly skilled workers, with an internal State Department memo saying that anyone involved in censorship of free speech be considered for rejection. The cable, sent to all US missions on 2nd of December, orders US consular officers to review resumes or LinkedIn profiles of H-1B applicants and family members who would be travelling with them to see if they have worked in areas that include activities such as misinformation, disinformation, content moderation, fact-checking, compliance, and online safety, among others. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in New Delhi on his first visit to the country since the war in Ukraine began nearly 4 years ago. Putin is joined by senior ministers and a large business delegation, as both sides look to widen cooperation beyond energy and defence. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Russia will take full control of Ukraine's Donbas region by force unless Ukrainian forces withdraw, something Kyiv has flatly rejected. Ukraine says it does not want to gift Russia its own territory that Moscow has failed to win on the battlefield. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said Moscow should not be rewarded for a war it started. Russia currently controls 19.2% of Ukraine, including Crimea, which it annexed in 2014, all of Luhansk, more than 80% of Donetsk, about 75% of Kherson and Zaporizhia, and slivers of the Kharkiv, Sumy, Mykolaiv, and Dnipropetrovsk regions. US President Donald Trump has said that the path ahead for Ukraine peace talks is unclear, after what he called reasonably good talks between Russian President Vladimir Putin and US envoys. The Kremlin said that Putin accepted some US proposals aimed at ending the war in Ukraine and was prepared to keep working to find a compromise. Trump said Witkoff and Kushner briefed him about the talks via telephone and told him their impression from Putin was that he would like to make a deal. The president said what happens now, however, is unclear. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says EU leaders are preparing a new sanctions package against Russia and that it must tighten pressure on Moscow's energy sector. Speaking after talks with Cyprus's president in Kyiv, Zelensky said sanctions should hit anything funding Russia's war effort. He also said he expects Cyprus to support EU decisions on frozen Russian assets. Britain and Norway have signed a new defence agreement in London, deepening cooperation after Oslo's £10 billion purchase of UK-built warships. Prime Minister Keir Starmer hosted Norwegian leader Jonas Gahr Store as both defence ministers formalise the pact. The deal allows both navies to operate together in the North Atlantic, as the UK reports a sharp rise in Russian military activity near its waters. Turkey has urged both Russia and Ukraine to keep energy infrastructure out of their war after drone attacks on tankers near its Black Sea coast. Ankara says energy routes must stay safe and uninterrupted, warning that any hit to pipelines or shipping threatens daily life across the region. Israel says its forces have killed around 40 Hamas fighters in tunnels under Rafah, an area now under Israeli control. Officials say roughly 200 fighters were trapped for months, with some emerging in recent clashes or surrendering as talks on a safe passage deal collapsed. Separately, Israeli occupation forces hit targets in 2 southern Lebanese towns after ordering evacuations from buildings it claims were being used by Hezbollah. A second warning followed an hour later for 2 more towns. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu has named his military secretary, Major General Roman Goffman, as the next Mossad director. Goffman, who will replace David Barnea when his term ends in June 2026, was chosen over Barnea's preferred candidates. The appointment has been sent to the Advisory Committee for review and is expected to move ahead without major opposition. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says there was something fundamentally wrong with how Israel conducted its military operation in the Gaza Strip, and there are strong reasons to believe that war crimes have been committed. He said the objective was to destroy Hamas, adding that Gaza is destroyed, but Hamas is not yet destroyed. In response, Israel's UN ambassador said the only crime committed is the moral abomination that more than 2 years after the horrific massacres of October 7th, the UN Secretary-General has still not visited Israel. And an AI-powered traffic management robot is now on duty in Hangzhou, China, using visual recognition technology to guide pedestrians and vehicles. The machine responds to traffic signals, makes standard directing gestures, and can spot violations in real time. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.